My boyfriend, 29M, told me, 27F, that there was a chance he'd leave me if I was infertile. I am not the oop. Oop is you, Tweed Fox. My boyfriend, 29M, told me, 27F, that there was a chance he'd leave me if I was infertile. Originally posted to R2X chromosomes. Trigger warning. Fertility issues. Emotional manipulation. Betrayal of trust. Less than. Original post October 25, 2023. I was really sick from ages 2224 with my lungs and almost died. The doctors still to this day can't tell me what caused it, and I recovered but still have minor breathing issues from time to time. Me and my boyfriend have been together for 1.5 years and recently been talking more about children in our future. We unfortunately never spoke about things like infertility, which sadly runs in my family. I was quite taken aback when he said there was a chance he'd leave our relationship if I couldn't safely carry a child because of my lungs currently being reinvestigated, or I was infertile. When I asked him if he was the infertile one, he said he expected me to do the same, but it's something I'd personally never consider leaving him over. We revisited the conversation the next day and he went from saying there was a chance to him stating he's 95% sure he wouldn't leave me. I, of course, would never stand in his way of being a father, but I can't seem to shake off the fact that there's this condition attached to our relationship now. It's made me feel like my value is attached to my fertility and I'm starting to view him in a different light. Am I just being oversensitive? Edit. I just wanted to note that I'm not actually confirmed to be infertile. I'm just at a slight risk because I've had a few women in my family that have had infertility issues, and there's also the concern I wouldn't be able to safely carry a baby due to my lungs. We would obviously have to run tests to have anything confirmed. Update November 5, 2023. Thank you for everyone who commented and messaged me directly on my recent post about my boyfriend saying he'd potentially leave me if I were infertile. We took a week break and came back to discuss what happened. He explained that he didn't mean what he said and he was in shock because our relationship was falling apart, but I still feel doubtful when even after 24 hours he only changed it to being 95% sure he wouldn't leave. And during our recent discussion, he admitted he didn't understand exactly how hurtful it would be for me to hear something like that. After reading everyone's comments, speaking to my friends, family and therapist, we've ended our relationship. Unfortunately, I've realized that after my boyfriend told me there'd be a possibility he'd leave me if I were infertile, that I'm sadly never going to feel secure in this relationship knowing that he's told me he is unable to support and stick by me should I face health issues in the future. And it's making me doubt if he can show up for me at all. Which admittedly, he's failed to be there for me already this year during my multiple family deaths and important health appointments. I'm devastated and the most heartbroken I've ever been, as I really thought we had a loving and caring relationship and that we would be able to build an amazing life together, but I've realized I'm choosing someone who's never going to choose me and that I deserve better. This is a repost sub IAM, not the oop. Always believe them the first time they say something terrible. They may try to backtrack and play it down like it was just a joke, or 95% sure he wouldn't leave, but that's them trying to do damage control. Believe them the first time. Him not being there for her with other big issues was a big thing. The fact that he wasn't supporting her with either her health issues or her emotional ones means he's not a keeper even before you get to his stance on her possible issues with pregnancy. He's already made it clear that her health isn't a concern of his. Glad she broke up with him. She doesn't need to be wasting time on a guy who only believes in the health part of the deal. I'm infertile. There is a 0 chance I can conceive a child and carry it. If my so said that was a deal breaker, then it just is. Relationship has run its course. Even if later they didn't mean it or weren't sure, I would know they would resent me for a lack of a child because of something out of my control. I had to have a total hysterectomy because of cancer. There was no other way that wouldn't have been just rolling dice and praying things didn't go badly. All for a theoretical kid that may never exist. Breaking up is painful, but knowing your beloved is angry with something about you that you can't change is worse than any breakup. It's unfortunate that OP has to go through this, and understandably, it is devastating and painful, but at the same time, this was the right choice. OP's ex-boyfriend has proven to not be the perfect one to be in a relationship. With what OP has described about him, it's clear that the relationship would be not so great if continued. I feel sorry for OP and I wish her for the best. It's totally fair to say a relationship is over if you can't agree on being parents. It's absolutely gross to make your partner feel broken because they can't have your bio kids. Other options are available. Wouldn't it be karma biting him in the ass if he turns out to be infertile? I was really sick from ages 2224 with my lungs and almost died. I do not think I have ever heard it phrased that way before. I'm devastated and the most heartbroken I've ever been, as I really thought we had a loving and caring relationship. And it's making me doubt if he can show up for me at all. Which admittedly, he's failed to be there for me already this year during my multiple family deaths and important health appointments. How many times have we seen this on Reddit? Someone talks about how wonderful their partner relationship is. Then they get feedback and it's, oh, wait, it wasn't like that at all. And there were all these problems. Oop loves him, but she should love herself more. This relationship ran its course. Whoa, Oop really buried the lead there. Like it started out about fertility, but suddenly he said that he wouldn't support or care for her in a health crisis and had already failed to do that. Girl, the potential fertility issues are the least of your issues. Putting aside the issue of fertility for a second, as someone with health issues who would never want someone who wasn't okay with that. Health issues can happen at any point in time, at any point in life. One day you can just become disabled and have to live the rest of your life like this. I know a woman that was fine until her 40s and now is a double amputee with a lifelong health condition. When someone tells me they could never be with someone with health conditions, what that says to me is that they can never be a fully reliable and secure partner. That they will bail at the first sign of trouble. And that isn't a partnership or a marriage. I understand not wanting to commit to someone with a disability from the outset. It's a big leap into a world you don't understand and can feel like a big commitment. But to say if your partner who you would supposedly love were to get sick you'd be out. I think people like that are indescribably low. Yup, he is definitely one of those guys who will leave their spouse if the spouse have cancer. Typical. Oop dodged a bullet here. He said he'd leave her if she was infertile or otherwise unable to carry a child. AMD then changed that to, oh, there's only a 5% chance I'd leave you, the next day. It's also telling that he doesn't understand why that's hurtful to hear. He's telling her that he assigns value to her based on her ability to carry his child. He needs to do a lot of growing before he starts dating again. At least we know this BF isn't a simp, unlike that guy from yesterday's story. He admitted he didn't understand exactly how hurtful it would be for me to hear something like that. How could he not know saying something so vile would hurt someone? Well, considering he fully expected her to leave if he was the infertile one. I'm gonna assume he's one of those people who are so laser focused on marrying and multiplying that they forget there's more to relationships than just that. Having an emotional connection. For example, being each other's best friend. For another, glad they broke up. Oop definitely deserves a boyfriend who sees her as something other than woman I will make babies with. I don't ever want kids, but if fatherhood is important to the guy, isn't that his right? I mean, at least he communicated it directly when the issue came up. This comment is going to be unpopular. I expect and respect it. He shouldn't have walked it back. If you're going to be honest, own it. Don't get me wrong. What he said was hurtful, but I sort of respect the initial honesty. There are many people who are child-free, and many others who want biological children. If a child-free person can leave a relationship when the other party decides that they want kids, then a person who wants biological children should be able to do the same. For these people, child-free are the opposite. The desire and ability to have children is part of the compatibility equation. And if at some point something alters this, they should have the right to back out of a relationship. OOP's ex needs to work on their issues though. 1. Communicate that they want biological children and it's a core compatibility issue for their potential relationship. 2. Say it in a respectful way that puts it on you and not the other party. And 3. Don't backtrack, because then you're just dragging along something you know you're going to end. It's disrespectful of their time. Edit. My Tyrannosaurus said it far better than I did. It's totally fair to say a relationship is over if you can't agree on being parents. It's absolutely gross to make your partner feel broken because they can't have your bio kids. Other options are available. Oop should go to the doctor and get her fertility checked out. If she truly wants children, she should know her options now. Especially since if she does, she will want a partner who also wants children. I hope Oop sees this and is proactive about her future. That's awful she went through that. I absolutely hate people like that Pa's ex-boyfriend. I'm really glad she threw the trash into the dumpster. She deserves, and hopefully will get, someone way better. TBH, people who only want bio kids give me a bad vibe. I know taking care of adopted or stepkids have their own challenges and isn't for everyone, but IDK. I just don't see a reason to not even consider it aside from some continuing my legacy ego thing.
If you enjoyed this video, please check out our playlists full of similar content. Epic Aircast is like doom scrolling for your ears. Please like, share, and subscribe.